Have you ever felt a creeping loneliness in your later years? Perhaps after retirement or the loss of a loved one? You find yourself a little more isolated than you'd like. Maybe you're 75, living alone, and the silence is starting to feel heavier than it used to. It's more than just a feeling of being alone. It's a quiet thief stealing the joy from the chapters you still have to write. This isn't just about feeling down. It's about impacting the health of your body and mind, even shaping the legacy you leave behind, the memories and impact you wanted to make on the world. In this video, we'll explore the critical mistake many make in their final years, a mistake that can rob you of your peace, your purpose, and your joy. We'll discover how to overcome this challenge and create a vibrant, fulfilling, and deeply meaningful final chapter, one where your legacy isn't defined by loneliness, but by connection, purpose, and enduring love. Don't let the precious time you have left slip away unnoticed. Your wisdom and experience are invaluable, and the world needs what you have to offer. Let's dive in. The silence pressed in on Margaret, a weight heavier than the Ohio winter. 78 years old, living alone since Harold passed, the quiet had become a constant companion. It wasn't just the lack of sound, it was the absence of laughter, the echo of memories, the sting of loneliness that burrowed deep. Before, her days were filled with the rhythm of life. Harold's morning coffee, their afternoon walks, the quiet evenings spent reading side by side. Now the house felt vast. Her days stretched endlessly, each ticking clock a reminder of her solitude. She found herself skipping meals, forgetting appointments, the simple tasks of daily life suddenly monumental. The joy had drained away, leaving a dull ache in its place, a feeling that her final chapters were being written in a muted, lonely tone. Have you ever felt that creeping emptiness, that sense of being adrift in your own life? That quiet thief, stealing the vibrancy from the days you still have? It's a feeling far more insidious than simply being sad. It's a threat to your well-being, your purpose, even the legacy you leave behind, the memories you hope to share, the impact you wanted to make on the world. This isn't about prolonging life, it's about enriching it. Let's explore how to combat this silent thief, how to find joy, purpose, and connection in the golden years so that you can write a final chapter that's truly fulfilling. Because the story isn't over yet. That quiet acceptance, that finding peace in what you can do, it's a lesson that takes time, doesn't it? But sometimes even finding that peace isn't enough. Sometimes there's a heavier weight, a shadow clinging to the edges of your happiness. For 85-year-old Arthur, living in a sun-drenched California bungalow, that shadow was the weight of unspoken regrets. He'd spent years building a successful business, a life that seemed, from the outside, picture perfect. But inside, a quiet ache gnawed at him. The missed birthdays, the unspoken words with his estranged son, the opportunities for adventure that he'd put off. All these things piled up, a silent monument to what-ifs and should-haves. His days, once filled with the bustle of his work, now stretched before him, long and empty, echoing with the unspoken words he wished he could take back. The regret wasn't just sadness. It was a physical thing, a knot in his stomach, a tightness in his chest. It felt like a thief, stealing not just joy, but the very essence of his peace. He felt a deep sense of isolation, different from Margaret's loneliness, sharper and more personal. He'd built a life of success, a life that looked so good to others, and now he felt the pain of its inadequacies privately. His biggest regret wasn't his accomplishments, but the lack of connection in his life. It was a painful truth. He'd prioritized his career over his family, neglecting relationships that were now fractured. It wasn't just that he missed his son, it was the awareness that the time to repair those wounds was shrinking fast. The thought of leaving this world without reconciliation gnawed at him more than any physical pain. Have you ever carried that weight, that burden of unspoken words, that collection of regrets whispering in the quiet hours? It can feel almost impossible to carry alone. But here's the truth. Facing these regrets, understanding their origin, and seeking resolution is not just a possibility, but a powerful path to healing and peace. Acknowledging these feelings is the first step. Arthur finally took that step, picking up the phone, swallowing his pride, and calling his son. The conversation wasn't easy. It was raw, full of unspoken years and hurt feelings. But it was a start, a single step toward bridging a chasm that had separated them for far too long. You see, acknowledging those past hurts, those missed chances, it doesn't erase the past, but it does free you from its grip. It gives you space, allows your heart and mind to relax a little. It allows you to enjoy the present, to appreciate the beauty and the calm that may still be found in your remaining time. It frees you up to live more fully and deliberately, to actually create that legacy that truly matters. Start by writing down your regrets. Don't judge yourself. Just let it all flow. Then identify one or two you can try to address. It might be a simple phone call, a letter, a sincere apology. It may be impossible to change the past, but you can mend some of its wounds and make peace with what you can't change. The peace you find will be worth more than anything else. David's journey, his quiet acceptance of his limitations, reminded me of something else entirely. Something far bigger than just physical health. It's about how we measure success in these later chapters. Think about 72-year-old Maria Sanchez from Austin, Texas. For years, Maria defined her worth by her career as a high-powered lawyer. Retirement hit her hard. The accolades, the prestige, they felt hollow now. The silence wasn't just quiet. It was the deafening absence of the work that had once filled her days. She felt adrift, lost in the vast ocean of her newfound free time. She had climbed the corporate ladder, achieved everything she'd set out to do, yet a persistent emptiness remained. She felt a failure, a woman who had reached the peak of her professional life only to find it meaningless. Her story isn't unique. So many of us define success through the lens of achievements. The big house, the fancy car, the prestigious career. These things matter, sure, but not in the way we often think. They're not the definition of a life well lived. As we age, as our bodies change, as our roles shift, the traditional markers of success become less relevant. The career accolades fade into the background. The material possessions seem less significant. What remains? The warmth of genuine relationships, the memories you've made, the legacy you leave behind. For Maria, it was a slow dawning realization. The feeling of failure was replaced with a different kind of satisfaction. She started volunteering at the local animal shelter. She wasn't climbing a corporate ladder anymore. She was walking dogs, cleaning kennels, cuddling cats. And in that simple, quiet service, she found a profound sense of purpose. It wasn't the success she had imagined, not the kind celebrated in magazine articles or boardroom meetings, but it was a success nonetheless. A success far richer, far more fulfilling than any promotion, any financial gain ever could have been. She found her success not in what she achieved, but in the joy she gave, in the love she shared. She discovered that true success lies not in reaching a destination, but in the journey itself, in the impact you make along the way. The simple act of finding purpose and helping others became the true measure of her fulfillment. It's a quiet kind of success, the kind that fills your heart and leaves a legacy that outlives you. What does success mean to you? Perhaps it's time to redefine it. And how do you do that? Start small. Think about your values. What truly matters to you? Compassion, creativity, learning. Identify those values and then seek out ways to express them in your daily life. Volunteer your time. Join a book club. Learn a new skill. Reconnect with old friends. Spend time in nature. Whatever brings you joy and a sense of purpose, pursue it. Because the most fulfilling success is the kind you create on your own terms. The kind that nourishes your soul and enriches the lives of those around you. It's about finding your own path to a legacy that is uniquely yours, leaving a ripple of goodness in the world. That, my friends, is a success story worth telling. David's quiet acceptance, his ability to find joy in small moments. It reminded me of something profound. It's about the quiet dignity of letting go, of surrendering to the natural rhythm of life. Think about it. We spend so much of our earlier years striving, pushing, chasing elusive goals. We chase promotions, bigger houses, the perfect family picture. But in these later years, the energy for that kind of striving often fades. And that's okay. It's not a failure. It's a natural shift. It's a time to savor the moments, to appreciate the simple gifts, the warmth of the sun on your face, the laughter of grandchildren, the comfort of a familiar friend. These are the treasures we often overlook in our relentless pursuit of more. 82-year-old Evelyn in Arizona, for example, used to define her life by her career as a successful lawyer. Retirement brought a strange sense of emptiness. She felt adrift, her identity tied so closely to her work. But then she discovered pottery. She wasn't aiming for perfection. She was simply enjoying the process, the feel of the clay in her hands. The results were beautiful, yes, but more importantly, the process filled a void, offering a creative outlet that allowed her to redefine success on her terms. That's the key, isn't it? Letting go of those rigid definitions of success we've held on to for so long. This isn't about giving up. It's about adjusting your focus. It's about finding joy in the present moment, in the connections you have, in the simple acts of kindness you can offer. What can you do today that brings you even a small amount of joy? Maybe it's a phone call to a loved one, a walk in the park, or simply sitting quietly with a cup of tea. These small acts, these simple pleasures, are the building blocks of a fulfilling life, no matter what age you are. So what now? How do we move forward embracing this new chapter with all its imperfections and uncertainties? First, acknowledge your feelings. Allow yourself to feel the sadness, the fear, the uncertainty. Don't suppress them. Let them flow. Then start small. Identify one thing, just one, you can do this week to foster connection, to engage in a way that truly nourishes your soul. Maybe it's joining a book club, volunteering at a local charity, or simply reaching out to an old friend. This isn't about a sudden, dramatic transformation. It's about taking small steps, one at a time. And remember this, my friends, you are not alone. Many of you are walking this path, navigating these changes, and finding your own unique way to flourish. I urge you, share your experiences, your triumphs, and even your struggles. Let's create a community of support where we can learn from each other, encourage each other, and remind each other that this final chapter can indeed be one of beauty, peace, and profound meaning. Reflect on this. What is one small act of connection you can make today? Take that step. Share your wisdom and experience with others because your journey has value and your story has the power to inspire. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your insights can help others. We can continue this conversation. I welcome you to join our online community to share stories and support each other.